Forest fires. Forest fire, or wildfire, is often used to signify an uncontrollable intense fire that breaks out in the wooded areas due to many factors ranging from natural to man-made causes. Lightning, volcano eruptions, quick changes in weather are some of the natural causes of forest fires. Underground coal fires, or the smoldering of coal deposits, is another important contributory factor in reigniting as well as spreading forest fires. However, most fires, an estimated 90% of total fires, are caused by human activities. One such important human activity is clearing land, arson, or fire, which sometimes go out of control and causes a forest fire. It can also be a result of human negligence, as people sometimes leave behind the sources of ignition like a campfire, lighted cigarettes in the forest. For hundreds of years, man has suppressed wildfires, believing that they can ensure a healthy future for the forest by suppressing them. But as scientists have gathered more information on the effects of fire on forest ecosystems, they have learned that fire exclusion might not have been the best practice for land management. A new technique, known as prescribed fire, has been used in the last 20 years to reintroduce the natural process of fire back into the forest. As have been noticed by forest management teams over the past couple of decades, fire suppression has caused many problems in the forest ecosystem. Today, it is known that fire exclusion causes thick vegetation and large amounts of dead fallen materials, both of which can increase the fuel quantity on the forest floor and may cause fires to ignite more easily and at a much higher intensity. Fire exclusion also increases the density of smaller trees. When fire does occur, these small trees guide the raging fire from the forest floor to the crown of the older trees, causing a crown fire. Another observed result of fire suppression is vegetation modification. Plants that are adapted for wildfire usually have a thick layer of bark to protect its living tissue from the heat. But forests that have not had a fire in decades may become the home to a plant species that is not adapted to or dependent on fire. Awareness of these negative effects related to fire suppression has led forest managers to turn to a technique known as prescribed fire. Under careful monitoring, they start some forest fires purposely or to let a natural fire burn out on its own instead of trying to put out all fires. While not all the effects of prescribed burns are known, some are very evident. The first is that vegetation and fallen dead material are burned, leaving behind nutrient-rich ash as well as creating an open forest floor. This not only eliminates any fuel that could contribute to a high-intensity fire in the future, but also creates a more favorable condition for new plants to resprout. Within a few weeks after the fires have been extinguished, green will emerge from the layer of ash. The fact that these new plants have little competition for sunlight and food enables them to mature at a faster rate. Moreover, many of the seeds were protected under the soil before the fire occurred, but some were released during the fire. Also, some trees, like the lodgepole pine, are dependent on the heat of fire in order to open up their seed cones for regeneration. Many people have concerns that prescribed fires affect animals in a negative way. In fact, most prescribed burns travel at a slow rate of 0.1 to 1.6 miles per hour, giving most insects and animals time to leave the area or burrow deep into the ground. Also, most prescribed fires occur in months when animals are not nesting or caring for their young. There are also concerns with the air pollution that prescribed fires cause when the fires release smoke into the atmosphere. One major argument against this is that although prescribed fires release smoke, they do not release as much smoke as uncontrolled fires do. Many steps such as monitoring wind and fuel moisture are taken to ensure that the smallest amount of smoke will be released.